So hey guys, today we're going to be talking about card pricing, kind of. Well, it's just why are certain cards the rarity that they are? Like some cards just don't make sense. So the most just the dumbest one probably is you are normal monsters to an extent. I mean, I kind of get it, like they're anime cards and stuff, but if you think about it realistically, they're just complete garbage. Like as a standalone card, right? So Red Eyes Black Dragon, and just checking, right? Yeah. So this one, yeah, useless. Dark Magician being a UR. This is at least in a structure, right? So it's fine. And Blue Eyes White Dragon, this is also in a structure, so you get free Blue Eyes White Dragons as well. So that one's also fine. Red Eyes Black Dragon. This archetype's not even good, bro. Like we have Red Eye Soul, so but that's fine, I guess. You know. But just in general, why are these cards you are? And also, like, just to make this even more awkward, like, you can't get this from the Legacy pack because this is in Master Pack, and then the Cerise and Ebony, which is weird. So you can never pull these for your Red Eyes cards from Legacy, even though it's a normal monster. And that's just weird, honestly. So, like, Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon, I mean, this card is fine because, well, it has a pend effect, you know? So this being a UR is not like that outrageous, and the pend effect is actually pretty damn good, you know? It just special summons a guy on this kind of trigger, which is not hard to do, right? When a Odd Eyes card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon a Odd Eyes monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So the most logical way to, like, without giving up too much advantage for this pen effect is to pop your other pen scale, which is hopefully just an Odd Eyes card of some kind. And there are Odd Eyes cards that just do that. So there are also like Odd Eyes Performa Pala cards that do this. So that's pretty useful. Like I think Odd Eyes Seer was one of them. And I'll trigger this, right? Let's see. Target one perform power Odd Eyes card in your graveyard, add to your hand, then destroy this card. Yeah. So this is an Odd Eyes card, Odd Eyes here, right? So then that can trigger that pen normal dragon, and then boom, summon a guy from deck. Like you would summon Dissolver, for example, Odd Eyes, Dissolver, whatever. And then that's like a Vortex, which is great, right? That card being a UR, sure, whatever. But like, why are these vanilla monsters just UR cards? Some of them not that bad. They could have just been SR, but alright. I get like probably some people like these cards and they probably want royal variants of some of these cards, so sure. Alright, I guess. But then if we take a look at some other cards like uh, we go to like this Charmer. Why is this so expensive? So we have Awakening of the Possessed, and then we have Spirit Charmers, and then there is like Ichirin. All of these cards are like literally three ofs. Like, what? And let's press this. Right? Does that show up with less cards? Sure, whatever then. And then we have a lot of SR cards as well in the traps and stuff. But yeah, I somehow managed to pull most of these. I'm just missing one Ichirin, but whatever. So, fun effect here, negate your opponent's first monster, effect that resolves each turn while you control a spellcaster monster with 1500 defense. During your main phase, you can reveal one spellcaster monster from your hand, and if you do, add one monster with the same attribute but with 1500 attack slash 200 defense from your deck to your hand. And if you do that, shuffle the revealed card into the deck. I am honestly not sure if there's any good cards to ever use for this, like this effect here. But I guess the negate, like the first monster effect that activates isn't that bad. Except if it's a danger, in which case you don't have a choice in this card resolving. This is a mandatory, so that's kind of awful. Your opponent could just use like Max C if they wanted to like deal with Ichirin. It's just dumb, but all right. Ichirin is a card of all time. It's a monster negate, I guess, right? And then we have Awakening of the Possessed. Monsters you control gain 3 extra attack for each different attribute you control, and familiar possessed monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If a spellcaster monster with 1850 original attack is normal special summon to your field, draw 1 card. You can only use this effect, Awakening of the Possessed, once per turn. Why is this card also a UR? This card does, like, literally nothing. This is an attack increase, and then what? If you normal or special summon an 1850 original attack monster, draw 1 card. So, what? Just for comparison, if we just focus on this effect, to draw 1, Vampire Sucker has a way easier time of meeting its draw condition, and it'll draw pretty consistently on both players' turns. SR. Well, I mean, alright. Cool. Awakening of the Possessed. Sure doesn't do much. The attack point increase. Attack points are pretty irrelevant in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, yeah. I mean, they're not really relevant most of the time, but this effect definitely won't be relevant. Like, unless you're pulling up with some stun or something dumb like Skill Drain, right? Spirit Charmers. Discard 1 card. Take 2 cards from your deck with different names from each other that are Charmer monsters, familiar possessed monsters, and or possessed spell traps. Add 1 of them to your hand, and set the other. You can only activate 1 Spirit Charmers per turn. So this is complete garbage, honestly, to an extent, this card. So you have to discard 1 card to then add 2 cards, right? Essentially. But not really. You add 1 and then set 1. So this card about goes even. But it's not even like a Rhoda, because you need uh, a Charmer monster and Familiar Possess, or you need like, yeah, you need well, Charmer, Familiar Possessed, or Possessed Spell Trap, and just this is just hurting myself here. Just talk about this, but yeah. So for Possessed Spell Traps, let's see what we can add. You can add this card itself, right? No, you can't. It's called Spirit Charmers. This is not a Possessed Spell Trap. I see. So you have to add something like Possessed Partnerships, or you can add Unpossessed. You can't search Ichirin. This card cannot search Ichirin, so it's like, alright. Great. What does this do for me? Uh, the best cards it can add. Like, these guys are all, like, completely useless, pretty much. And they don't really have any useful effects, honestly. These guys, like, straight up. They don't really do much, right? Except for maybe... Nope. You can't add these. Familiar, Possessed, and then this is Charmer, right? This is a Channeler. Why is this even showing up? Charmer, Familiar, Possessed. You can't add these. Right? No, wait, it says this card is always treated as a Charmer card. Never mind, you can't add this. But, like... Dude, are you suggesting I play, like, Charmer cards? Like, with some, like, Wind archetype or something? I mean, I guess that's the only, like, somewhat decent usage for this, but well, that would be like 6 URs that you'd probably be running for this, right? It's like 6, 5, something like that. And then you're going to need to not draw a Possessed Partnership or Unpossessed, whatever you're running, if you're running them at all for whatever reason. But I guess if you're running this, you would probably need to run like one of these crappy Charmer cards, because honestly, these are all trash. Charmer monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. If a familiar possessed monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calc only. Monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. Well, this card is already face up in your special zone. You can special summon one spellcaster monster for 1,000 for defense. From your deck, whose attribute is different from at least one of those destroyed monsters original. It's on the field. That doesn't do anything. Possess partnerships. Special summon one spellcaster monster with 1,500 defense from your hand or graveyard and attack. Position or face down defense position. And if you control monsters with two or more different attributes, you can destroy one face-up card on the field. You can banish this card from it, then target one possessed continuous spell trap in your graveyard. Place it face-up on your field. So it's only unpossessed. This is the only card that meets that criteria. Why is this in the graveyard anyways? You don't have a way to send this in the graveyard. But if this gets into the graveyard, I guess you can put it back on the field with partnerships. Great. So 1,500 defense. So I guess it's like one of these guys. So if you were to Spirit Charmers, add like Win and Possess Partnerships, this doesn't even work really because you probably wind lock yourself, right? Yeah, wind lock here. So where do you get this second attribute from for to activate Possess Partnerships? And then target one possess continuous spell trap. Yeah. Okay. Like what? Are these effects literally the same? Yes. What does this even do for you, bro? Unreal. So if we were to special, well, we can use Win, right? Wait, Win doesn't really do a super whole lot. I guess the most interesting thing that like Win or Asa can do is they can add like a dragon ruler, I guess. I think, right? Maybe. No, I can't. Never mind. I forgot there's a condition. 1850 or less, but this one's 1500 or less defense. The other one's 1850 or less attack. We'll check, I guess. Tempest. This is a UR. Oh, okay. This card is banished. Okay. Whatever. So you can't search Tempest off of this. Great. Well, while we're at it, let's search Dragon Ruler to confirm something. How many of these guys are URs? 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of these guys are URs, and of course, they have uh, they have a secret pack, right? Uh, yes, they do. I think that's a secret pack, right? So at least this is not that heinous, because if it was only from the thing, right, that'd be completely unplayable, you know. But already just wanting like 1, 2, 3, yeah, 12 URs for this to play this like overall pretty mid deck. That is not really great either. So that's kind of pain. And then if we think about it, Vanquish Soul, this has like every single main deck monster here is pretty much a UR. Like what? What is this? I've never seen this before. 1, 2, 3, like UR monsters here, and then you also run these guys, and these guys. So literally half of your main deck monsters are URs just randomly. Okay, and then a lot of people like I don't know why they run these ratios, but they run these ratios. So yeah, that's great. And then you need 3 copies to Stake Your Soul. Everything here is a UR for whatever reason, and you know. You can argue that they're new cards or something, but then you'll take a look at tier limits and it's like, yeah, 3 copies of Rhino, and then you've like you had I think 3 copies of Sheeran, or was it always 2? I think it was always 2. I don't think Sheeran was at 3 in Master Duel ever, right? So you only need like these 5. And then I guess there's also Scream, right? Where is Scream? Oh, there it is. So 3 of Scream probably, but whatever. This is for some reason the same price as Tearlament. Except Tearlament feels cheaper somehow. Hmm. Yeah, Tearlament Scream. I guess you don't even need to run 3 Scream, right? You could probably get away with running 2, but for like Vanquish Soul, you kind of have to run 3 Stake Your Soul, right? So I guess that contributes to this, but that's not even like the worst stack. I'm pretty sure that's not the worst offender of this, right? Uh, High rarity wise, like Super Heavy Samurai is actually ridiculous, wasn't it? You need to run 3 copies of Bike, and then you need to run 2 Benkei, 3 Wakuchi, right? And that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the entire extra deck you have to run is like essentially all URs in different packs. So this is just horribly expensive. So Baron, Orlo Savage, Regulus, Auroradon. If we just go with those 4, that's 4 URs. And then there's Cleaver Genius, which is SR, but you know, that's pretty miserable. Draco Berserker is also a UR. So like your whole extra deck is just UR, so that doesn't help either. So that's miserable. And then actually, yeah, Manadome is pretty bad too. So if we look at Manadome, you need to run 3 copies of Calarium, and then you need 3 copies of Rhyme Heart, and then you need like uh Vices. So that's like at least 2. It's like 2 to 3 copies of Vices. You also need like copies of Lightheart, so it's like 1 to 2 copies of Lightheart. And that's like 2 to 3 copies of Reichphobia. Great. And then like 2, 3 copies of Vices. And then that's not all. We actually need the Scareclaw cards as well. So it's like 2 or 3 copies of Reichheart. And then you'll also probably want a copy of Amritara. You don't need any of these guys who are Monodium. And then you'll need like 2 copies of Astrolabe. So honestly, like for most expensive deck, Monodium's probably there right now. Monodium is probably the absolute worst one right now, like worst offender of expensive deck. Of just being an expensive deck, right? Yeah, probably. So how many main deck URs do we need? It's like 2. If we try to keep it like a little bit more minimal, a little bit reasonable. Let's remove all of this. This technically, I think you might even want to run this at like 3 and 3 for these, because this also counts for whatchamacallit, the for the low level Monodiums, you know, the Monodium tuners. It's a 15,000 attack, 2,100 defense monster, right? So yeah, these are also kind of starters, and if you just have a Rykart in hand, it allows you to grab Reichphobia, which allows you to grab Physis, which allows you to grab even more stuff. So you kind of have to run these, so that sucks, I guess. And then you need to also run like Baron, Dispatter, and all that stuff. And they're all in like different packs once again. Draco Berserker maybe. So UR wise, if I were to just craft like these cards, how much would it cost me? So that's 20, which means just for these cards, 600 UR. Yeah, and you still need more URs. Imagine, I don't know, you're just a new player and you see Manadium. Hey, I want to try playing the Manadium deck. That looks cool. I like, uh, I'm about this like Vice's Starfrost lore, right? And then you see this absurd like price point of 600 your CP just for this engine, right? But of course, as a new player, you need like Ash Blossom Spring, so 2 copies of that you'll probably need to craft. And then we have Imperm, same deal. You'll probably need to, I think. They give you one, right? Yeah. So you'll probably want 2 copies of this as well. And Called By, you definitely need Called By, so 2 more copies here, and I'm pretty sure we're missing a lot of cards that Manadium players play because just because this deck is pretty expensive. I mean, yeah. So it wasn't fusion deployment. It was a hero lives actually that we need. So you'll want 3 of these as well while we're at it, you know. So with every single card we're putting in, this is getting more and more expensive. It's getting worse and worse, right? And then for this, we still are missing some cards. Not 100% sure what they were. Don't remember. So real quick, let's do this and then grab a Torrid. Maybe 1 or 2. Doesn't super matter. Oh. So let's grab 1 Torrid. 1, 2, 3 copies of Obsidian. This is just destroy a monster, right? Okay, yeah. So you can use this to pop Scareclaw Lightheart or something like that, and that should work fine. Uh, I don't think anyone's playing Prime Heart, honestly. Imaginings, probably 1 copy of this. Reframing, 1 of these, and then rest of these run some Prismos, I guess. 2, maybe? I don't know if we need 3, right? Except, wait. Reveal 1 fusion monster. Oh, this becomes Visus. Alright, never mind. This is a 3 of as well, because this card, Visus, this becomes Visus, then you can make Scareclaw Lightheart, and that is combo. So you'll probably want 3 of these as well, honestly. And then we'll grab, I don't know, Reinforcement or something, and then we'll probably want like a few more hand traps to round it out from here. And then it's just the extra deck, so Disbatter and stuff, so I think this is going to be around like 25 to 30 UR cards, if not more, or like around there, so that's probably around, I don't know. Well, actually, if you include staples, it goes even higher, so this goes to around 900, probably, if like not a bit more. Can I even craft from here? Like, no. 390 required. Great. And all of these are in different packs, so it's just kind of annoying to get all these cards. Like, just by pulling them, so. There's also that, I guess. And this is probably the most expensive deck as of currently. But I mean, just for example, like, uh, for cards that just, like, I think Labyrinth is one of the more reasonably priced decks. Just if we're looking by rarity, like Lady Lab, this is a UR, and then you have Big Welcome, that's a UR. Welcome Labyrinth, this is also UR, but honestly, you can get away with playing 1 or none of Welcome Lab, depending on how you're feeling, right? In fact, most of the lab cards you don't even really need, right? Well, the URs, right? You only need 1 of these. You don't even need to play 3 of these, it's just probably better to, right? You could probably play two of these. It's doable enough. It's not as good with like Chain Dragler being at two, so that's awkward, but you know, it's just fine. So then, yeah, it's pretty weird how then like some good decks, I don't know. So it's like if we do DD, DD, uh, you only need like two copies of Dias, and then if we're just going by like the actual URs in this deck, there's also Flame, High King Genghis, and then Siegfried, and I think that's it. Those are all of the DD URs you need, and then you have Baron, and that is 5 URs, and these are all of the URs you need for the deck. Like I'm not complaining about this. DD being cheap makes it easier to make, right? But in comparison to other decks, it's like, what's going on here? Why are some of these decks just so expensive to make? Like, I just don't know. The absolute worst one being like Charmers, of course. It needs like, what was that, like 9 URs? Just for what reason? And those are URs that you will never use anywhere else, but like with Charmers, pretty much. So, why? It's just so freaking expensive. Just what? And then just for example, if we go to Mech Knight, yo, guess how many Mech Knight URs you actually need to play? We need Girsu. This is also playable in Orchest and a bunch of other things. Uh, a lot of things can actually use Girsu. You know, Girsu can be played in them. It's fine. And then we have Magnite Crusadia Avermax, which is an optional monster, honestly. And then Spectrum Supreme is also kind of optional. I mean, it's good to at least have Magnite Crusadia Avermax, so UR count on this deck. 3. It's like just Girsu. Everything else is not required, but like if you want to at least do the Scars line, it still costs you only like 5 UR crafts, so that's the whole deck essentially. Like no extra deck, no, like this is extra deck and main deck, and there are of course loads of decks that have like expensive extra deck lineups, like with like 7 or 8 like yours, some of which aren't used in like except for certain strategies, right? And then like a bunch of different main deck monsters that you need to run, right? This Duel is actually like branded, I mean, so branded is weird because for some reason brand is actually not that high rarity. If we just look at the main deck, all of their like UR cost is just from the extra deck, which they do have a lot of URs for the extra deck, so that's a little bit expensive, but aside from that, you're pretty fine, right? In terms of main deck for the branded stuff. Bestial, Lubellion, I guess you kinda need to play, so it's like still only like how many? I mean, I guess it's a little worse than it was before, like Banded Fusion, Bestial Lubellion, and then you need Artesia, and uh then there was the other one. Was it Ecclesia or what was it? Guiding Quem. So actually now it's expensive with Blazing Cartesia and Guiding Quem. Before it wasn't as expensive. Huh. So yeah. So you'll probably need 3 of these. You'll probably want 2 or 3 of these. Actually, yeah, this is a 3 of this. This stops Imperm from working against Branded, which is pretty strong actually, you know. Stopping targeting in general. And then Guiding Quem. I don't remember how many you run of this. This is like a 2 or 3 kind of card, I think, right? But this can send a card that mentions Fallen of Elbaz, so this can send spells or traps. So that's a way to get into Brand of Fusion, so this might be a 3 of, honestly. So, alright, I guess branded's just hella expensive as well, and all of the branded extra deck monsters are all pretty much as you are, so let's take a look. Fallen of Eldaz. Yeah. Albion, the Sanctifier Dragon. Albion, the Branded Dragon. Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon. Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. Mirjade, the Iceblade Dragon. Despian Critus. Alba Lenitus. Rind Rindbrom, the Striking Dragon. All URs. And all these cards you'd want to play. And I guess if you're running the Mercurius stuff, Mercurius is also a UR, and that's how come this deck is so expensive, I guess, now. It wasn't that expensive, like, several months ago. Like, I guess it would have been quite a while ago, when all you needed to do was just Mirror Jade Turbo. It was not this expensive. Yeah. So, some decks like this, I don't know, they're just hella expensive now. So, that's well, I wouldn't say great, but you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, if you want to build branded, it's just pain and suffering. On the bright side, there is at least some form of branded pack now, but are all of the cards even like there? I'm not sure. It's just pain and suffering. You just need a billion different cards to just make this work, and they're all yours. Not looking the best. Is this actually... I don't know, between like Manadium or Branded, which deck is more expensive? Because they're honestly probably more expensive, like by a good bit than Super Heavy Samurai. But all these decks are just getting super expensive. I mean, can we get a good cheap deck soon? Like that'd make me feel great, you know? Then I could actually get a deck, you know, that I can play without feeling like I'm getting shafted. One right card. Surely this is enough to play, you know? But yeah. If we check Dark Magician though, how expensive would this deck have been to make if there was no structured deck? So you need copies of this, so Magician's Souls, Dark Magician, Illusion of Chaos. So assuming we just go reasonable, play like 2 copies of Dark Magician, 3 of Souls, 3 of Illusion of Chaos, that's already almost 9 URs, that's 8 URs, great. And is that it? Wow. This is not that expensive of a deck. Most of the cost is just going to be Dark Magician then. Uh, was this deck actually always like this? Hmm. Alright. Why is Dark Magician cheaper than Spirit Charmers? What kind of messed up world is this? I mean, Spirit Charmers shouldn't be expensive anyways, but like this has a secret pack devoted to it, so it being like a bit like expensive kind of makes sense, but like Spirit Charmers, I'm pretty sure the Charmers pack is just... Is it just the Charmers pack? Was there anything else in this pack? I don't remember. I think there wasn't. Why is there a pack just devoted to entirely Charmers? And why is it so expensive? So many good questions. And I mean, while we're here, let's go take a look, I guess, at the new secret pack. So, this secret pack just looks stupid, honestly. Like, if we go ahead and look at these, okay, so newly added cards, there are none. It is just the Vernisylph and G-Golem stuff. So if we just look at this, right, well, I'll put it to this. It looks better here. So we have all of these Vernisylph cards, we have these G-Golem cards, and then we just scroll down to SR, and it's like, wait, hold up a second. Beast King Barbaros? King Beast Barbaros. Why are these guys here? What? World Soul Carbon? This is at least useful, right? Add a Earth Fairy from your deck to your hand. Okay, right? I guess. And then we have Grand Tusk Dragon. What? What? Why is this here? And then Fairy King Albverdick. Stubborn Veneer is fine, I guess. Cataclysmic Crusted Calcifida. If a face-up Earth monster you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can send one monster from your deck to the graveyard. What? Okay. Awakening of the Possessed Nefarious Arcfiend. Fairy Archer Ingunar. You can attack the turn this card is special summon. If this card is special summoned by the effect of a plant monster, you can target one level 6 or higher plant monster in your graveyard special summon in defense position. And locks you into plant monsters for whatever reason. And then we have Terrene Tooth Tsuchinoko. Okay. More Charmer cards. Rogane. More Charmer cards. Thrawn the Disciplined Angel. Okay. And then it's just like Antilian. Okay. What? If this card battles uh in battles a monster in the battle phase, you can normal summon Cyberus monster. What? Soft once per turn. Mystic Macro Carbussy. So basically all of these there's just a bunch of low rarity garbage here at normal and rare. Pretty much none of these cards are even remotely useful. So th this is just a really weird secret. So all of the UR cards are good, but SR cards there aren't even that many good ones. Notably, like with the G Golem stuff, it, we're G Golem cards, right? We have Trilithon, Crystal Heart, so that's two, right? And then we have one, two, three, four here. Uh, Renaissance cards, and then we look at this and it's like, where are the G Golem cards at? We have Pebble Dog, I guess. And then what? Wait a second, are we not missing G Golem cards from this? We are, aren't we? Relayed cards. Where is Rockhammer? Oh, I guess it's Rockhammer is here, right? Aren't we missing something though? I feel like we are missing something. I'm not even 100% sure because who plays G Golem, but like, are we not missing anything, or is this just every single G Golem card? Because I remember specifically in the event loaner there were like some like really good G Golem synergy cards, and I don't see them here. Like at the very least, right? Whatever the like the tryout loaner thing, we don't have those cards here either. Okay, so we just have a bunch of completely useless cards, like pretty much for normal and rare. Like all these cards just don't make any sense to me. Why you would play? But okay. Binary Sorceress. What's this do? Literally nothing, huh? All right, cool. So this Cyberus locks you really hard, right? Yeah. But why don't we have more Earth Cyberus monsters that do something? But why is Daruma a dropper here? Right. You could play this in Pearly. Just, mm, like, that wouldn't be that good, but it would be funny. Wait, does it say detach one or just detach it all? Oh. Oh no, that works. This works with Zeus as well, actually. This card is better than expected, but like, only like it would be like really situational. So, aside from that, I don't think there's like that many good cards in this. Like, if I pull from this, like here, I have my free pull. I'm hoping honestly, I guess it doesn't matter which side we get this from. Trilithon, Pebble Dog. Cool, this is useless. I only have one of these. Well, okay, cool. Cannot be used as a synchro material monster except for the synchro summon of an earth monster. Target one earth monster field, reduce its level by 1. You can use this effect twice a turn. And then Nefarious Arcfiend. What does this card do? Add Spiritual Earth Art card or one possessed spell trap from your deck to your hand. Well, that's not very useful, is it? Well, yeah. As expected, we didn't get anything super good. I mean, if I never... Well, actually, yeah, I don't think I'll ever use these, so... Dust Angle. I don't see why you'd ever run this. So, yeah. I guess it's just pretty awkward because these decks, like, notably, like, Renaissance, I don't think this has enough cards to actually make a full deck by itself. I don't think. So, you're going to have to pull from, like, a different secret to get all of your Renaissance cards, so this deck is going to be not as expensive as I expected because it's only 2 URs for Renaissance. It's just what you're running it with, I guess. G-Golem is, like, a bit expensive, though. Like, with Dolmen and then Gravity Balance, right? I don't remember the exact way you combo with this, but this isn't that expensive either, surprisingly. It's just all the generics you need to get from elsewhere that sucks with this pack. Like, just specifically, right? It's just, like, Transcode's not here, Splash Mage ain't here. So, yeah, they're SRs at least, I guess, but, yeah. This secret is weird. Just wanted to say that, really, so, yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess that's all I got for today. And I mean, if I missed any expensive decks, I mean, I can overlook them accidentally. No, one of them noticeably is like Dynamorphia, which requires how many URs? Like, if you play mostly an archetype, it's like 20 or something, I think. And then needing Solemns and stuff, yeah, it's around 20. So that's also like pain. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.